Hello, my friends. This is Sissy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have my friend Dmitri with me again, and we are going to talk about something that's really interesting to me, hopefully to you too. How do we attract things we want?
Exactly.
And is that law of attraction?
Well, law of attraction from the point of view of like books like The Secret are a lot about if you just think about what you want a lot, you'll get it. I think there's a lot of evidence that that is not true. However, there are some things you can do with your mind that actually will make it a lot more likely that you'll be able to pursue what you want and be totally unstoppable in getting it. And people will want to help you, and you'll have more fun doing it. And that sort of mental mindset is what we're talking about today. And it's not The Secret level stuff.
Okay.
This is functionally and fundamentally different. So
excellent. Let's get into it.
yeah. So think about something you like and would like to have. So what is something that you want that you're pursuing or would like to pursue?
That will be continuing growth of my business, of substantial income that can support me with freedom and time so I can travel. My personal passion is traveling.
Okay, right. So you'd like to have a successful business so you can make more money, so you can travel, and also continue to build your channel that helps people.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
So, okay, awesome. So the way most people go about pursuing things that they want is they say, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to kind of push that rock uphill and try to make this thing happen, right?
Yeah.
And then once it happens, I will celebrate and have the good feelings of having achieved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work very well. It turns out that the best way to actually get something to happen is to have the feeling now that you already have it. So much so that you are 100% certain, you're so sure it's going to happen that you sort of feel like I'm already there, I'm just waiting for reality to catch up.
Oh my God, I love this idea. I think you've talked about this several times to me.
Yes, right. So that's it. I grew up doing things the hard way. The hard way is I will believe I will give myself the feeling of having it after I've achieved it. And like I said, that really doesn't work because you're not in the right headspace to pursue it. Let me give you a couple examples. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk, right? We all know him. He's very, very successful man. He's achieved a lot. There's a guy named Jim Cantrell who he started SpaceX with. And there's a quote from Jim Cantrell who basically says, look, the only difference between Elon Musk and me is Elon Musk was certain he would succeed and I wasn't certain. So what happened was when push came to shove, I gave up and he didn't. But since he was certain, since he was already living in it having happened, he was unstoppable and people wanted to help him and he was having fun doing it. Or Walt Disney, right?
Yeah.
Disney World, Disneyland, all this kind of stuff. Disney Channel, very successful guy. There's a story about how he took a friend to this field in Florida, this cow pasture, and said, this is where Disney World's going to be. You should buy up a lot of land around here because it's going to be worth a lot of money. And the guy was like, Walt Disney, you are out of your damn mind. It's not going to happen. But because when this guy looked around, he saw a field. When Disney looked around, he saw and felt Disney World, right? So what we need to be able to do is get the sense of what is it that you want and what would it feel like to have it? And you need to start experiencing that feeling. Now, here's what's going to happen. When you really step into the feeling of I already have the thing I want, every resistance inside of you is going to come up. And that's why this is work. This isn't just like, oh, just imagine it'll happen. It's like, well, imagine it and then get through all the yeah, buts, it'll never happen that are going to pop up into your head as you practice doing that, right? But we do start by getting into that sense of what would it be like to have this. Now, we're going to do that in a second. I just want to say a couple more things about it. One is this magic, right? Is this magic thing where like you do it and the universe conforms itself to you? I don't know.
Okay.
I think there's a good chance that on some weird quantum level, that is how things work. That if you really stand in the certainty of something and you feel that you have it, the universe does sort of bend around you to give that to you. I mean, we're all certain of something. right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people are certain things are going to suck. And things do suck, right? So it's like, it's not like we don't have some examples of it working, right? People say, well, yeah, that's just me. And of course, it always happens that way for me, right? They're holding that certainty and the feeling of failure and not getting what they want in their mind, and it happens. So is there a spiritual element to it? Maybe. But I can tell you, even without that, if you are like living in this, belief that I'm so sure this is going to happen, it's like it's already happened for me. If you're living in that, you're going to wake up every morning ready to go. And problems will come up and they're not going to faze you. You're just going to find solutions. And you will be inspiring and other people are going to want to help you. Right? And that's even if there is no spiritual component. Having that sense of certainty certainly gets the Elon Musks and the Walt Disneys and so many other people who are successful moving versus those of us who wait for success before we feel it. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, that's pushing the rock up the hill. It's a very painful way to go. So you're saying that you want to have that success, be successful online, successful other places, be able to travel, help people, stuff like that, right? Yeah. And you're not all the way there now. You're starting with some of these things.
Yeah.
So the important thing is to stand in the feeling of being at the finish line. So you at home watching this, what is something that you want? Think about that now. Now you may just know, I want X, Y, Z. Or maybe you want to be freed from some sort of problem, right? In the way every problem we have has the seed of a want inside it, right? I don't like my health, I want to be healthy. I don't like my financial situation, I want to have money. I don't like my love life, I want to have. So you may just say, here's something I don't like in my life. What I want is the opposite of that. But get some sense right now of what it is, just a thing you can want. And just pick one thing. You can do this more later with all your other ones if you want to. So you've got your thing?
Yes.
I'll have my thing. I'm wanting to be acknowledged for being able to really help people with information like this, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do, and I'll talk you through it, is close your eyes, go inside. And you're at home, you can close your eyes, keep them open if you want. But if you do close your eyes, I promise, we'll come back and get you when it's time to open your eyes. Take a couple breaths. Just really feel into your body. And let yourself sort of take that step inside into the world as you would have it be. Let yourself start to get that sense of, wow, I have that thing I want. But not just in your head. You want to feel it in your body. What would be a situation you might find yourself in if you had that thing? Like, this might be you and your son sitting in first class on your way to Belize or something, right? I mean, you want to make a picture that you can sort of feel into, something that you would experience once this thing you want had happened. And just really let yourself drop into that sensation, like, wow, I am there. Like, if you're on that plane, feel the chair, see the people working there, look out the window, see the ocean or whatever. And if you're at home, whatever would be a thing that would happen after you had achieved this goal. All right? You want to write a best-selling book. Okay, well, you're being interviewed by Tim Ferriss or something. I don't know. It's some picture that you can have. But don't just see yourself in the picture. Be in it. And let yourself feel what it would feel like to have had that thing come true. There's no striving at this point, right? Because you have it. There's no wanting and wishing you could have it because you have it. Feel in your body that sensation of you have it. Let yourself feel gratitude to God or the universe or whatever you believe in. Because, wow, thank you for giving me this. Thank you for guiding my actions. Thank you for putting the right opportunities in front of me. Thank you for giving me this thing. Now, as you practice this, two things are going to happen. One thing that's going to happen is that good feeling, right? And if you come out of this with that good feeling, you may find you're more able to go after what you want in life, right? And it'll feel easier. The other thing that might happen is a voice may show up in you that would say, well, I can never have that because of X, Y, Z. right? In fact, that may happen a bunch of times. I like to say, when you really stand in the reality of what you want happening, everything that is not that, every resistance you have inside you is going to come rushing up. So that may happen. It may happen if you practice this every day. It may happen for a while, right? So if a resistance shows up in you, just let love touch that resistance. The part that says, no, you can't, to say to it, yeah, I get that you think I can't. And that's okay that you think that. Here's some love. You're welcome here too. And then step back into that feeling of having the thing you want already have happened. So, okay, Sissy, come on back and open your eyes if you've been sitting with your eyes closed at home. So come on back. And so what was your experience of that like?
When you were describing feeling that feeling, I felt myself sitting taller and straightening my spine as if I was gaining more confidence, because if I were in that position already, I will be sitting straight.
Right, and the woman who has that straight spine kind of confidence, is she more likely to be able to take inspired action to create the life she wants?
Oh, for sure.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get to. We're getting to an energy that can inspire you and guide you to actually doing life better. And if this is magic, that's nice. But if it's not, there's a real practical use to this. So in terms of when you kind of have that sensation of having this and then think about your business, how do you think about it differently, or how does it feel different?
I think about it from that person who already made it and already created all that success. And what will she act? What will she be like? How will she make that decision? And that person is me, so I need to start doing those things now.
Right. This is how you go from pushing the river, right, pushing life, to being pulled by life, to flowing with the river. People would ask, for a long time, you hear people say this all the time, well, just believe it, that you're a success. Like, well, how the heck do I do that, right? Here's how you do it. Spend a lot of time in the feeling that you have arrived at that successful place, because being in the feeling of something having already happened is the same as believing it will happen. Those are the same thing. You want to believe it, experience the sensation of it. And you can do that. Your imagination is yours. You get to say what it does. So, I mean, that's a quick way to do this. We're kind of running out of time. So anything else here that you want to ask? Or
I do, actually. Well, we did talk about there are people who think life is hard, everything's so difficult. So for those people who think they've never experienced success, they cannot remember what it feels like, how can we help them?
Well, you can imagine something you've never experienced, right?
Okay.
I mean, you definitely can. I would like to say, if your life has been extremely hard and you have a lot of reasons to not believe anything good could ever happen to you, step number one is to have compassion for yourself. Right? A lot of times people are like, oh, just believe positive and leave that stupid self behind. No, if you've had a hard time, you need to bring love to yourself, right? In your previous video with me, we actually talked about how to do that, how to feel that kind of love for yourself. You deserve compassion for the difficult things you've been through, right? And I want you to experience that. So that's on the other video. But once you've done that, yes, you can imagine. You can take your best sense of what it would be like to have what you want. And, allow yourself to experiment with feeling that on a regular basis and seeing how that changes how you go about your life. Not in a push way, but in a natural flow sort of way.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, and then another experience I had during the meeting meditation was I was imagining myself being successful, but then problems and issues when I'm in that successful state start popping out of my head. I was like, oh, if I made this much money, I would have to deal with a different set of problems. How do I manage those thoughts?
Sure. Well, what would you like it to feel like when you have that new set of problems? You'd like it to feel like what?
I'll probably just come back to the next success.
Yeah. I mean, I think for you, it's like you want to feel like you're dancing with the new level of problems and they're not a problem. I mean, you'd like to be able to feel like it's easy and you're good with it. Probably something like that, right? So as that shows up, like, oh, wow, I make a lot of money. Boy, that's going to be a lot of taxes to pay, right? Like, okay, well, what would it feel like to live a successful life even with that problem? Oh, to feel like that was easy. I had a tax account, more than enough money, everything's fine. Something like that, right? Those are options. So, anything else?
So we talk about what we just talked about is different from law of attraction. There are some similarities, but it may not be just like the magic.
Yeah.
Because I know people who set up altars, put out different crystals, do rituals. What do you think of those? Do you think those help too?
If those things help you feel the feeling of having arrived, great, use them. But they're not making you feel that way. But if setting up an altar helps you, then that's great. A lot of my big issue with law of attraction stuff is that it can be merciless on the self. Like, hey, just do it. Just believe the right thing. Everything will be fine. Oh, you're an idiot for not having believed it. Guess what? You generated all your suffering and whatever. And it's like, no, that's just so uncompassionate, Like, no, you've been working hard. You've been doing your best in life. Maybe everything isn't like the way you want it to be, but you can step into this feeling. If holding on to a crystal helps you do that, then do that. All right? But it's not necessary. All that's necessary is what's in here.
Right. Yeah, that just reminds me of what we talk about, how I grow up. There were not much compassion around from the environment that I grew up. I think people with my background would understand what I mean. So I'm unlearning a lot of things I grew up with.
Yes.
So a lot of learning.
Yeah. Well, and that is the process of life.
Right. Learning and unlearn.
Yeah. So I know we're going long on time here. I would like to recommend, if you want more of Sissy and more of her videos with other people and with me, like and subscribe.
Yes.
And it really does help the channel so more people are able to see it. But also share this with your friends. If you have friends who they're having a hard time getting something, you feel like they're ready for a new way of looking at things, send them the link to this video. I think if that could help them, we would be really happy to have that happen.
Yeah, and Dmitri's website and his YouTube channel is in the description box below. So take a look.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.